What's up everyone, my name's Alpha and today we're back with another Pokemon challenge video. Today we're on Pokemon Moon and today's challenge we can be Pokemon Moon Hardcore Nuzlocke using only shiny normal type Pokemon only. So surprisingly, I actually am not a big fan of normal types apparently, because I've done I think 1 or 2 normal type videos in my entire history, which is crazy because I've been doing Hardcore Nuzlockes for over a year now and I've only gotten around to doing normal types. So anyways, let's run through the rules real quick. It's a Hardcore Nuzlocke, of course. You're going to catch the first Pokemon in each route that's a shiny normal type Pokemon, and that's the only Pokemon available in that route to be on your team. And as well, that Pokemon only has 1 life, so if it ever faints, it is gone. You have to replace it, put it in the box, it is dead. There's a death counter on the bottom left. There's also a level cap. The level cap, since there's no gym in Sun and Moon, we're going to do it by kahuna level. So there's 4 different kahunas. That's going to be their highest level, and that's going to be the level cap for the islands, each of them. And as well, you have to play on set mode, and you can't use items inside of battle besides hell items. Of course, hell items are useful. But besides that, there is one extra rule that I really like to do on my channel. Each of my Pokemon will be nicknamed after you guys in the comments. So thanks so much for leaving a nickname in my previous challenge video. If you just want to be nicknamed after your future Pokemon, just drop in the comments and hopefully I'll pick yours. And while you're down there, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. It means a lot to me that you guys support my channel. Let's get into the challenge video itself. So I'm so sorry that I missed out on Wednesday upload. I've actually got swamped because they just kept throwing quizzes on top of me in school. Unfortunately, I have to pay attention in school nowadays. Normally I could just breeze through it. I have to focus up now. I am paying money to take university courses, so unfortunately I am if I do slack off, it's coming out of my pocket. So unfortunately I had to skip out on the upload on Wednesday, but hopefully this video will make up for it. As we go out, we don't have to shiny hunt for a starter in this one. Looking if there is no normal type starter Pokemon. Is there a normal type starter Pokemon? I don't think so. I'm not too sure. I mean, Eevee counts. I guess Eevee is one. But besides that, is there one? I don't think so. But we don't have to worry about that. We got Litten specifically because I think our team matches up better against everything else, which is a terrible assumption. I'm not gonna lie. I forgot Primarina is a fairy type, and that will come in play later on in the game. Now from there, we're gonna go through the tutorial, obviously, and then head into Route 1. Route 1 is where we're going to start shiny hunting for our first Pokemon. We do have to go through the tutorial for a little bit, beat through the trainers, and then finally be able to shiny hunt in the grass in Route 1. Now what we want to look for in here is a Pipey Peck. I was looking for a Pipey Peck. I actually caught one on accident. That's why I have 2 Pokemon. I thought it was shiny. It was not shiny. But I searched out, and unfortunately I found myself a shiny Rattata, which I don't mind. I kind of wanted a Pipey Peck because you get Rattatas more often in later parts of this island. But unfortunately, this is the first shiny Pokemon. We caught ourselves a Rattata, added to our team, and that's going to be our starter Pokemon. We're also going to go out and face off against the trainer school. Now, this actually works out for me because in the trainer school, a lot of Pokemon Pipey Peck can't really beat. So I'm glad I got Rattata after all. I kind of feel bad. Did I forget an encounter in How Oily City? Is there one in How Oily City? It's the city you're in right now when you face off against Alima, which we destroyed. We beat up Alima pretty easily. He's not too difficult. As you see, we just one-shot everything. Hustle boosted Rattata is crazy, especially at the start of the game. But I don't think I missed an encounter in How Oily City. But anyways, we're going to head into Route 2. There is a few Pokemons for us to encounter in here. I actually got what I wanted. We got ourselves a shiny Smeargle, which you might be like, why do we want this? And I'm like, well, because I never tried it out before. I used Quick Attack, almost one-shots down a Smeargle, which I was not expecting, but it sketched me. It taught itself Quick Attack, which is pretty nice, so we're going to take that. It's also 1 level away from learning Sketch again, so we're going to actually eventually catch the Smeargle, add it to our team, and then use it against the first trial in the game. It's not too good. It's not the greatest Pokemon, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I should have lost this fight as well, but I almost lost this against Eradicate. But you know what? Smeargle did it. Smeargle has a offensive move that is also stab boosted. But from there, we're gonna move out and face off against the first totem in the game. We're gonna face off against the totem Eradicate, which is gonna be in Pokemon Moon. Now I chose Pokemon Moon specifically for one exclusive encounter later on in the game, which you won't see until the end of the game, but it is important. From there, we're going to face off against Eradicate. We're doing pretty well against it. You know, Quick Attack does a lot of damage against Eradicate. Hustle is a great ability, as you see the power, but unfortunately you do miss more often, especially with 100% moves, which doesn't make any sense. It feels like you miss 100% accuracy moves more often with Hustle than, regular 90% accuracy. But anyways, we're going to beat down the first totem in the game pretty easily, and then head out into Route 3, where we're able to find another normal type Pokemon in the wild. You're able to find yourselves a Spearow in here, which is the only normal type Pokemon in Moon. But if you're playing Sun, you could find yourselves a Rufflet, which I would prefer. But if I got Rufflet, I couldn't get a Drampa later on. The only thing I can encounter here is going to be a Spearow. Caught myself a Spearow. It's pretty nice. Unfortunately, Vullaby is not a normal type Pokemon, but We get ourselves a Spearow. It's going to be useful against Hala. As we face off against Hala, the first kahuna in the game, we're going to start the battle off against him using my Spearow. Spearow already learns Air Lace at level 15, so we're able to Air Lace into the Mankey as it goes for Focus Energy, knocks out in one shot. He then goes out into his Makuhita, which I take a Fake Out. He lives an Air Lace, which is unfortunate, and then he's going to knock me down to my Citrus Berry, which I don't like. Kind of want to keep my Spearow alive, but Air Lace will knock out the Makuhita in 2 shots. And then his final Pokemon will be a Crab Brawler, which has a Z move. So I switched that into my Smeargle as my sack, because nothing's surviving this Z move. I'm not going to lie. I have a normal type team. This is not surviving anything. So Smeargle unfortunately goes down. Go out to my Spearow, and Air Lace does not knock him out. So that's unfortunate. He goes for a Leer though, so I could go for Air Lace again, but that's not going to knock him out as he Power Punch me. Knocks out my poor Spearow, and lucky enough, he already used his potion, so I could go out to my Rattata. Rattata's able to knock out the Crab Brawler, but at what cost? Lose 2 good Pokemon, 1.5 good Pokemon, 1 Pokemon, 1 good Pokemon, a Spearow, and a Smeargle. So already 2 deaths on the board. It's not looking too good for us as we head out into Route 4 next. Route 4, you're able to find yourselves a bunch of normal type Pokemon. I couldn't find any of them for some reason. I don't know why the shiny boosted odds was not working for me, but I decided to just catch this Eevee because I thought it was going to bring me some luck because I was not finding anything. It wasn't immediately after, but a couple minutes after, I found myself a shiny Pipey, which, I mean, you know what? You take it. So we find ourselves a shiny Pipey, which is pretty nice. We're going to add it to our team real quick and then evolve both the Pipey into a Drillbur. Not a Drillbur. What is it? Trumbeak. It evolves into a Drillbur. No, I also evolved my Rattata into Eradicate, which is pretty nice as we head into the next totem fight. We're in face... Oh, wait, we don't. We head into the ranch out here, catch ourselves a Lillipup first, add it to our team, which, I mean, I don't know, it's going to be too useful. I didn't really recognize that Lillipup. Oh, yeah, you could have found Lillipup in the other grass as well, Route 4. We found ourselves a Lillipup and then face off against a Wishy-Washy in here. Wishy-Washy is going to be the second totem in the game. We're going to start the battle off against him using my Raticate. Raticate's going to do a lot of damage. Unfortunately, it misses the first turn. But you know what? In the second turn, Hyper Fang does a lot of damage. Almost 3 shots it. Okay, I'm able to flinch it and also go for another one. It heals up with a Citrus Berry, but it allows me to Hyper Fang once again, knock him out pretty easily, and then my Raticate just demolishes the baby Wishy-Washy. It didn't even go into schooling form. It didn't go into his Minnow form, so we're able to knock out the second totem in the game pretty easily. And from there, I'm actually recording this as LeBron James. I'm not sure if anyone cares, but LeBron James has passed the all-time scoring record. If you guys go on my Twitter, I only post about basketball apparently on there, and if anyone cares, you can follow it. But yeah, he passed the all-time scoring record. Steph Curry's still the greatest player ever. Anyways, let's get into the fire trial. The next trial, we're gonna clear through it pretty easily. I was actually searching out for a shiny Kangaskhan. It was not happening. I just give up. I'm giving up easier on these shiny hunts. I'm not gonna lie, which you guys shouldn't do. I know a lot of people listen to my commentary and my videos while these shiny hunts, and I want to say to you guys, unless it's actually tormenting your life, do not give up on your shiny hunt. You're only a few encounters away. What was it? What's the quote? All gamblers quit before they hit it big. So all you shiny hunters out there, just keep going at it. I believe I spent like 2 or 3 months in the summer of 2013 shiny hunting for a shiny Honedge, and that was with Masuda Method and a shiny Charm. I don't know what was going on. I also spent a month shiny hunting for an Ice Cube that I never used. You know, the little penguin Pokemon? Yeah, I never used that, but I shiny hunted for it. Anyways, we can go into the fire totem and we're gonna clear through it pretty easily with my Raticate. I'm spamming Raticate a lot because it's so powerful, but I kind of fear it dying pretty soon, so I kind of want to just get the most mileage out of it. We're able to 2-shot into the Salazzle and then knock out the Salandit with my Herdier pretty easily. And from there, we're going to head into Route 8, which is north of the fire totem, and then find ourselves a shiny Stuffle. We got the matching color on it as we go for a quick ball and got it. You know, it kind of fits it. It's kind of cute. I remember people having like a meltdown because people quick ball shiny Pokemon, so there's some trigger footage. From there, we're gonna face off against the Lurantis totem, which isn't too difficult. We have a Trumbeak, it has Flame Charge. We also have Pluck. I was doing a versus run of Hardcore Nuzlocke with my friend Sky, and unfortunately, we did have a Trumbeak back then as well. Unfortunately, my Trumbeak fell to the Lurantis because I didn't use Flame Charge to knock out the Lurantis, which is kind of unfortunate. I used Pluck twice and then it knocks me out with Solar Blade because I was not calcing for that at all. I was racing my friend in Sun Moon, so I wasn't really calcing, but lucky enough, we're able to beat down the Castform and also the Lurantis, beat down the Grass Totem, and then head back into the Lush Jungle. Now the Lush Jungle actually has a Pokemon for us. If you're playing on Moon specifically, there is a Rangaroo as the version exclusive encounter, which is a normal and psychic type Pokemon. So we actually switched areas and then we found ourselves a shiny Rangaroo immediately. I was like, what? Well, I would take that. Finally, such a shiny Oranguru. Last time I used Oranguru was not too good, so hopefully this time around we're able to use them properly. From there, we're going to face off against Olivia next. Olivia's giving me the second Kuna in the game. We're going to start the battle off against her using my Oranguru against her Nose Pass. I have Taunt. I'm not too sure why I didn't use Taunt against the obvious Thunder Wave, but eventually I am able to knock out the Nose Pass pretty low. Pretty low? I don't know. My Oranguru is getting stuffed up, so I eventually knock out the Nose Pass. Then she switches out into her Lycan Rock, which I go out to my, obviously, Beware. Beware is the greatest defensive wall possible for me, as I'm able to just break, knock out the Lycan Rock pretty easily, and then her final Pokemon will be a Boldore. I two-shot it as we end up beating Olivia. No worries at all. Beware is powerful. And from there, we evolve our Trumbeak into a Toucannon. Not in the same area, of course. We go out into the next island and then evolve them. And then from there, we got a bunch of very useful TMs. We got Roost, which is going to be useful later on. We also get Break. We got Swords Dance and Bodos, very useful moves. Aerial Ace, very useful. And from there, we're going to face off against the Electric Totem in the game. We clear through pretty easily. We start with a Beware and then Swords Dance, and it gets paralyzed. It's very annoying. I was unable to beat down the Vigavolt, which is unfortunate with my Beware. So I switched out to my Stoutland, and Stoutland finished the job against the Vigavolt with Intimidate. So it's nice to do all that. Eventually, it knocks out the Charger Bug as well, and we end up beating the Electric Totem pretty easily. From there, we also beat Guzma. Guzma's not too much of a worry. I don't think ever in this run. So unfortunately, I do lose a few Pokemon in Guzma for like previous runs of Sun and Moon. So yeah, from there we're gonna face off against the Mimikyu totem in the game, which I think is the hardest totem. And lucky enough, I actually make it super easy as we start the battle off against the totem Mimikyu using my Toucannon to U-turn, break his disguise, switch out into my Stoutland, which has Intimidate. It's gonna lower the attack stat of the Mimikyu, and from there I'm able to just crunch it down and eventually switch out to my Toucannon once again, and then Drill Peck to knock out the Mimikyu pretty easily. And from there I am able to knock out the Haunter, not using my Toucannon. I switched out once again. I go out to my Eradicate to knock out the Haunter as we end up beating the hardest totem in my opinion. From there we're going to face off against Guzma once again. I'm not too sure why I'm showing you this. I just demolish it with Toucannon. There is a funny glitch with Toucannon you can see later on, but I'll show that later on, I guess. And from there we face off against Nanu. Nanu's the third Kahuna in the game. We're going to start the battle off against him using my Toucannon. I'm able to knock down the Sableye pretty easily with Drill Peck, and then U-turn out of there, so I don't want to stay in against the Persian, obviously. I go out into my Beware as he sends out his Krokorok. I stayed in. He's going to swagger me. That's fine. I go for Break. I break through Confusion, knock out the Krokorok. He sends out his Persian next, which I was like, he can't really do too much to me, so I just stayed in. He fakes out me. I go for Break. He Dark Pose me. He flinches me. He has no moves to attack me. So I'm able to Break and knock out the Persian in one shot, and Beware is turning out to be one of the better Pokemon. And I would smirk just like that if I was cheesed by Beware. From there, again, bad plays after bad plays, but eventually we do knock out Guzma. I mean, I take it back. Guzma, a tough challenge against me. As you can see, I'm eventually able to just barely knock out his team. Lucky enough, he did not go for first impression. I'm not too sure it would have killed, but would have done some damage. And Sucker Punch almost knocks me out, which I should have expected. From there, we also beat down Lucamine with a very, very clean sweep by my Oranguru. You see, finally using Oranguru correctly as I'm able to knock out Lucamine pretty easily. From there, we can go into the final island and face off against the final Kahuna in the game. Obviously, the level cap is 48, and we're going to start the battle off against Hapu using my Toucannon because I did not know what to use, apparently. This is the worst choice possible, but I started the battle off against her using my Toucannon to Bullet Seed. It got Bullet Seed randomly. It does have Skill Link, so it's pretty cool. It does knock out the Duxtrio, which is nice. From there, she can switch out into her Gastrodon, which I'm able to heal off against. I'm just going to waste all the turns of Sandstorm, obviously, get my health back up, and then Bullet Seed to one shot, or a couple shots, knocked out the Gastrodon within the same cycle, and then her next Pokemon will be a Flygon. I'm not too sure why she's going to everything besides the Mudsdale, but we'll take it. As we're able to Bullet Seed down the Flygon into low HP, but I'm at low HP because it Dragon Breathed me and I'm paralyzed. So I decided to go out into my Eradicate. Eradicate gets paralyzed as well. I go for a Sucker Punch. It knocks out the Flygon at the very least. And I know the Mudsdale is going to try to go for like an Earthquake or something. So I decided to go out to my Toucannon. Why? I don't know why. Actually, I take it back. I'm trying to bait in the Z move, and she refused to do it for so many times that I just got bored. I went out to my Stoutland, keep getting intimidated, and eventually I just went out into my Oranguru, and I'm able to just knock her out as she hits me with a Z move. But I have a Wiki Berry on, and I'm able to survive it pretty easily. She also has like minus like 5 attack stat because she just refused to use the Z move against my Toucannon. I'm able to knock out the Mudsdale using my Oranguru, which has a lot of mileage, surprisingly. And we're able to beat down Hapu pretty easily. From there, we're going to move on and face off against the final totem in the game. We're going to face off against the Dragon Totem. We're going to face off against Como in here, the Great Valley Como. I thought I said Great Valley. No, Great Valley Como. And we're going to start the battle off against him using my Toucan to Beak Blast into him. Almost knocks him out, which is unfortunate because he even used Clanger's Soul Blaze. Clanging something. I'm able to knock out the Como, and then I think the Scizor does have Pursuit, and I was really risking it switching out there, but it works out. As I go out to my Eradicate, I'm able to knock out the Scizor. We're able to beat down the final totem. Now from there, we're going to face out against Lusamine. This battle is normally a little more difficult than this, but I'm able to just get a bunch of Calm Minds up in front of her. She can't really do too much. I'm eventually able to just get +4 or 5. I'm able to Psychic 3-shot into the Clefable pretty easily, and then from there, even though I'm at low HP, I'm able to survive any move of hers as she's not going out to her Beware. Even though if she goes out to her Beware, I'm able to outspeed it anyways. She switched out into her Lilligant, which leech sees me, and it's not a problem unless she's able to survive a turn against me, which, judging from that I one-shot the Maltic, it's not going to work out for her, as I'm able to just one-shot the rest of her team, and we end up sweeping down Lusamine pretty easily. From there, we're going to move out into Mount Lalanquini, which isn't... This is not the right place to shiny hunt. We're actually supposed to shiny hunt in the cave, as we find ourselves a shiny Drampa, the final Pokemon on our team, which we've been waiting on for the entire game. So we eventually find ourselves a shiny Drampa, catch it, add it to our team. It's okay looking. I don't know why I was so excited to use him. But from there, we're going to go into the Elite Four next. We're going to face off against the Elite Four. Our first Elite Four member we're going to face off against is going to be Hala. Hala is the fighting type Elite Four member, and of course, he always brings the pain. We're going to start the battle off against Hala using my Rangaroo. I don't really know. I get faked out. I get Psychic. I should start with Stoutland and then go out to my Rangaroo, but I got knocked down to Red HP. Hit myself up with a Wiki Berry. And then I'm able to Psychic knock out Hariyama, which is nice. And his next Pokemon will be a Primate, which goes out for a Pursuit. Does not work for him. I'm able to Psychic one-shot the Primate, so I get 2 Pokemon down at least. His next Pokemon will be a Beware, which, thinking back to it, I should have just gone for a Nasty Plot against the Hariyama instead of just, you know, doing what I was doing. But I switch out to my Stoutland finally, get the attack stat drop as he goes for a Hammer Arm. And yeah, that was not too nice. So I got to my Toucan and nice. I'm able to avoid a Hammer Arm and then avoid a second one, get another Drill Peck. Should have gone for a Beak Blast earlier, not gonna lie. But I'm able to just Beak Blast, knock out the Beware, which is unfortunate. Kind of want to set up against him, but he goes out to his Crab Brawler next. I don't want to stay in because it's going to one-shot me, and I had to do it. I had to switch out into my Stoutland, take the Ice Hammer, just let it die. It's okay, Stoutland got the attack drop as well. I go out to my Koko, my Rangaroo, which is able to Psychic into him. Unfortunately, it doesn't go down, but I go out to my Toucan and once again, knock out the Crab Brawler. His final Pokemon will be a Poliwrath, which I'm able to go for a Drill Peck. And then I outspeed him at least. Waterfall does not knock me out. I do have Figgy Berry on. Drill back to knock out the Poliwrath. I'm able to beat down Hala pretty easily. We lose 2 Pokemon, but you know what? It's okay. We don't need them later on. From there, we're going to face off against Olivia next. Olivia is giving me the Rock-type Kahuna of the game. We're going to start the battle off against her using my Drampa. Why? Why am I using this thing? I don't know. But it misses all his Thunder, so I switched out into my Toucan next. Toucan is able to get a Bullet Seed off against him. He gets low on HP. I gotta recover my HP, but Bullet Seed would knock out the Relicanth, which I should have done from the start. Her next Pokemon will be a Lycanroc, which I do have a Beware to survive the Continental Crush, which she finally does against me, and I'm surviving it pretty easily with my Beware. It's so cute. Beware is so cute. It reminds me of the Mario Tunic. You guys remember that? Tanuki Mario, yeah, it does remind me of that. From there, she switches out to her Carbon, which is part Fairy type. I don't have too many answers here. She sets up a strong Reflect as I go for a Thunder and actually paralyze down the Carbon. She does a lot of damage to me and also lowers my special attack, so I gotta switch out to my Toucan. I know it has rock moves, obviously, but I outspeed him, and I have Roost. So roosting up, I drop my flying typing, and it gets paralyzed. I'm able to go for 3 Swords Dance, get +6, which is a little overkill, but I also waste the Reflect turns, and eventually I am able to knock out the Carbon with a +6 Bullet Seed with Skill Link, so I'm able to knock out the Carbon pretty easily. Her next Pokemon will be a Probopass, which +6 Bullet Seed is gonna sweep her. So yeah, even though it doesn't do too much, 5 of them will hurt as I one-shot the Probopass or one-cycle it, and as well we also destroy the Golem as we end up beating down Olivia pretty easily. Now from there, we're going to face off against Accelera next. Accelera is going to be the Ghost-type Elite Four member of the game. I'm going to start the battle off against it using my Drampa. Don't know why. I guess I want to use Drampa before it goes down. Drampa is able to actually Dragon Pulse into the Sableye and one-shot it completely. Not even go into Berserk mode. Berserk's ability, if it goes under half HP, it gets a plus special attack boost, which is pretty cool. From there, I switched out my Grandpa into my Raticate. Takes a Blizzard, unfortunately. It goes for a Confuse Ray, which, lucky enough, I'm able to break through. Crunch to knock out the Frostlass. Her next Pokemon will be a Delmise, which I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go back out to my Grandpa. Because you know what? Drampa hasn't done anything, so I go out to my Drampa. And Drampa actually walls this Delmise pretty nicely. I'm able to get it to slam me, and then Dragon Pulse don't even activate Berserk. Okay, works out. We knock out the Delmise. Her next Pokemon will be a Power Sand. She can't even use her Go Z move, as she hits me with an Earth Power, Berserk mode, and I have a Wiki Berry on. Get myself past half HP, so if it hits me again, I get +2 for free, just my ability, as I'm able to knock out the Power Sand. And her final Pokemon will be a Drifloon, which this battle goes on for a little bit, as I'm unable to really hit it. As I go out to my Raticate, eventually I one-shot it with my Raticate. So yeah, that was the end of the battle. We end up beating down Accelera pretty easily. And now we face up against the final Elite Four member in the game. We're going to face out against Kahili next. Kahili is going to be the flying type Elite Four member of the game. We're going to start the battle off against her using my Toucannon. And you know where this is going to go. I'm going to go for a Sword Dance immediately. She goes for a Steel Wing and gets a defense boost. Kind of annoying. I go for a Beak Blast to get it burned, which... so cheese. I hate this Pokemon. Beak Blast against NPCs are just broken. Anyways, I get +6 for my Sword Sense, obviously. I'm able to one-shot the remaining of the Skarmory, which is pretty nice. Her next Pokemon will be a Mandibuzz, which I'm able to, you know, break into him. Still lives it pretty easily, as it goes for punishment. I survive pretty easily. And I go for a Roost to get my HP back up, as she's going to use a full restore. I go for a Beak Blast. She goes for a Flatter and confuses me. So thinking back, wasn't the best idea. Her next Pokemon will be her own Toucannon, which I go for my own break against it, and one-shot the Toucannon, which is nice. Her next Pokemon will be an Oricorio. Since the Toucannon used Screech, I'm actually not too afraid, because it only lowers my physical defense. But unfortunately, Oricorio made sure I was fearing it, because it flinched me with an Air Slash, so I'm like, well, of course it did. So I switched out into my Drampa next. Drampa was able to survive Oricorio pretty easily. Dragon Pulse to one-shot the Oricorio, which is insane. And then her final Pokemon will be a Crobat, which, you know, it's not going to live me. It's going to Air Slash. I survive it pretty easily. It Supersonics me, but Dragon Pulse will knock out the Crobat, as we're able to beat down Kahili and move on and face up against the champion in the game. Or we're the champion in the game. We're going to face up against Professor Kukui. Professor Kukui is going to be the challenger. We're going to start the battle off against him using my Beware finally. He goes for Stone Edge instead of Stealth Rocks, which I found weird. I'm going to go for Break and knock out his Lightning Rock. So we'll take that. He sends out his Bravery next. I'm like, wow, I don't have an answer for this. He goes for Tailwind, as I go for a Return. Go for a Rock Tomb. I miss, and then he's gonna whirlwind me out into my Drampa. I go out, take a Brave Bird, not too well. I got a Berserk mode. Dragon Pulse to knock out the Bravery, which is nice, I guess. I don't know. His next Pokemon will be a Ninetales. He misses his first Blizzard. I go for a Hyper Voice, and he's stuck in this situation. I almost one-shot him, but he has to heal up as I go for a Hyper Voice. I'm getting terrible rolls, but he keeps healing, and eventually I actually get the greatest roll, and I knock out the Ninetales, and we take those. We absolutely take those. From there, she sends out his Primarina, and this is why I was saying it's a bad idea. It's very powerful against most of my team. As you see, 3 of my Pokemon are very weak to it, and it has a Water Z move. So Drampa goes down. I go into my Raticate, looking to see if I can do as much damage as I can, and Return does do that. Since he already wastes all his healing items, I don't have to worry about that. I go out to my Beware, and Beware is able to return and outspeed the Primarina. Knock out the Primarina. We take those. Just lucky for us, Gen 7 starters are very, very slow. And from there, he sends out his Magnezone. I don't know why I went for Sword Sense. I should have just went for Break. I just knocked him out anyways. He goes for Thunderbolt. If I got paralyzed there, I'm pretty sure I would have lost. But lucky enough, I knock him down to Sturdy. He's getting a full restore. I don't get paralyzed. Break to knock down the Magnezone once again. And he's getting Thunderbolt to knock out my poor Beware. I switch out to my Toucannon. Just don't Stealth Rocks up, which is very useful. I'm able to go for Break, knock out the Magnezone. His final Pokemon will be a Snorlax, which I go for a Sword Dance initially, which is a dumb idea, and then go for a Beak Blast in the following turn. He gets burned, which is nice, and I'm able to just Beak Blast, knock him down to red HP, and then the burn will take care of that. And Toucannon actually is the survivor, the lone survivor of this challenge, which is kind of funny and kind of unfortunate because my entire team was pretty good in my opinion. I think I just ran into a very, very skill diff. The Hala team and also Professor Kukui's team, very, very powerful. Couldn't do too much against them, but lucky enough, we end up still beating the challenge, and I'm very happy about that because I don't know what I would do if Beware got paralyzed there. I was not really thinking too well going for that Sword Dance. But anyways, thanks so much for watching all the way today. It means a lot to me you guys make it this far in general. If you guys can, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. It means a lot to me. Anyways, my name's been Alpha. Hope you guys all had a great day, and good luck on your exams and quizzes and schoolwork and everything. Anyways, my name's Alpha. I'm out. Peace.